on attack, which, hey, I respect it.
I respect
slow
it.
plays and covering the angles.
Yeah, I mean, this comp it stands out to me because they really only have one flash to work with, and it's a paranoia as well, which is, I feel like, very committal. I mean, your eyes have to be on how TSM are going to be handling this attack side. I think that's where all the questions lie. Oh, hey, congrats to John Cutie. It looks like it's an upgrade from the TI-82. That's awesome. Load time's already a lot faster. Again, as we move on into Icebox here. But, I'll shift the question over to you, Ravish. What do you think is like the big things to look out for, at least from the side of TSM and their comp?
For TSM, on Icebox especially, the biggest thing is how your Viper is going to perform and how your Chamber. Those have been the defining factors for most of these compositions. It's when I was watching Complexity last week as well and most Icebox compositions is because they end up being your first contact agents more often than not, whether they're by yellow or they're usually holding by crates.
What is this Ghost
And if
setup?
they can either win your first trades, then things go fine as always. What is Ghost doing?
This is a really unique setup. Pushing incredibly deep. That dart being shot, nah, that should not be Koal Noob peeking. You see who's kind of eager to do it. If that wasn't shot, if it wasn't contested, that would have been Ghost actually fighting for space up there. So how do they respond to this? That's a real question. Patience, discipline, holding on these angles, peeking out at the perfect time. Gimon goes down. That's their smokes, or at least one of them.
Exactly, but exactly like you mentioned, it's a really solid pickoff too, because now this mid push out is a definite possibility. They're more than likely have the lead person probably way farther behind to watch out for the flank, considering they know where they were positioned. But all of Ghost Gaming, they're all rotating out to the back. They're going to see two eyes, one come through mid.
There's the wall.
As the wall goes up, the spray goes wide, but Plant is still not down. They're just delaying. It's a big knife to catch all of TSM.
But still, they have one person, Corey, inside of sight right here. If they want to fall back, if they want to go towards A1, they're going to have to beat feet. Time is running incredibly low, and so is the HP
left.
on players like Rossi. They have to watch out for that, but yeah, they're making the committal over here. Swap over to another Ghost. Steven might be able to find a freebie here because he's been lurking at mid all the while. This is so rough from TSM. That being said, they should pretty much always get this spike down without any sort of contention.
He needed to land that shot. The third one goes wide too. And he's just stuck in a corner. He's forced to peek out. That's how the shot's gone. Mario's on a classic. And it's a classic classy again. There's pinchering him. But instead, on the other side, Sabrosa gets one, gets taken away. Ismo with two. And TSM
The HP,
are left
though.
with two on site. The drone should be able to spot Nismo. Don't necessarily matter because they can just overpower them,
Yeah, but the HP is incredibly concerning. Corey's full health has a D. He is the Giga Chad right now, and he gets taken down by our boy Frodo. Everyone's bully. 1-0 Ghost Gaming. I mean, there was a cause for concern there, but really it only ends up being a dream. I'm trying to comprehend what was going on from TSM there. The fights that were taken from defensive spawn.
That's a good spot.
Were certainly creative, I'll put it that way, but Seven had a good position, just unfortunately wasn't able to actually put it together into something notable.
Yeah. To be fair though, we've seen TSM come back from a lot worse.
Right.
And it's attack on Icebox, and we know that their freeze can be interesting if they play that same sort of kind of weird push out through mid, then maybe they can catch them off by surprise, but as long as they land their initial shots, they should be fine.
Who used to say if they're going to do it
so far up. Hey, gets one, two, and you know what? That's it.
That's
He gets
fine.
two of his, and we call that a nice Tuesday.
Nice tomato is what I usually call it. That's what people mean by when they say NT, I believe. Oh,
Yep,
what a
that's.
piece.
I'm glad you caught on. That's what's up.
Player
But,
standing.
nice tomato. Well, I think I'll have to think Ghost has to not give TSM the ultimatum.
Ooh, okay, that was
trying
clever.
Yeah. Of trying to at least do something about this round as GMMD is left all alone. There's no one there beside him.
And on the edge of the smoke as well, Koal Noob, he'll collect his three. That was an interesting play from TSM, right? Obviously, they didn't have a ton to work with here, but I feel like Ghost Gaming, if they certainly had a chance to be overwhelmed. You saw how Nismo just kind of died after getting 2 there. There wasn't the immediate trade. There was another player over by Yellow that could have been potentially a cause for concern. I'm wondering if TSM try contesting that early again. You notice that ping actually right on the radar. That's where Nismo was located last time. Keep an eye on how they're going to pressure this one early and how Ghost Gaming adapt as a result, because Nismo is playing way further back this time around. Yeah, there it is. Early contention. Actually, no, just holding the corner, it will be over towards B. Actually, most of the interesting stuff is happening over towards A with a dart lineup coming from T-spawn as well, or attacker spawn, excuse me.
They're using a lot of early info tools to just scope out the push, but with them only getting a glimpse of 7, the drone not spotting him either, I wonder what the thinking is to perhaps take reposition to mid. There are 3 there, and the drone from Rossi as well.
Push up mid.
Won't be able to catch anything. Corey's here as he clear up all the corners and moving through yellow.
That's a big fight.
Goes down,
This is a bonus. This is so big. Every single kill that Ghosts get just inches them closer to being able to upset them on what would be such a huge round for TSM to win. Flash through as well to deny plan. This is incredibly concerning, Ravish. TSM, they're still favored, but it's certainly not a surefire victory in this round for them.
I think this is short in life, and as right now, the only thing that is assured is his plant. And Rossi managing to stay alive.
3.
By the absolute skin of his teeth, his enamel has worn off. That's how close that was. Still, it's 4v4 between the two, because look at where Knuckles is coming through. The wall not up yet, and now we're looking at Brock to perhaps move in. No util.
Waiting for the dart.
Comes up in about 4 seconds. The snake bite out. They'll command in. They spot at least 1, but a util being used. Moves it back to yellow. At 1 by 1, they all fall. 2 more left from TSM. As remember, this is just a bonus, but the fact that it was this close is impressive. 7 gets 3 somehow.
Boy.
And Brock cleans it up. Wow. Shout out to 7 there.
A difference of 2 HP is what separated that from being a bonus win from Ghost and a complete and utter travesty for TSM. I mean, that is ridiculous. TSM, no, 7 actually had the chance to get them on the board in the most ridiculous way. Follow along at first and second, that was just insane. The third one kind of was maybe a little bit of a freebie. It's good damage caused by TSM, but when you kind of zoom out a little bit, that is a very, very disappointing result for TSM. How was their round to win? That was going to be one of the freest gun rounds they could get. Now they're stuck onto the bare minimum, with the exception of 7, who's going to pop his ultimate next to him farming in that last round. Core de Force is a playmaker. Double peek potentially coming in through mid. Look at that behind the op. Smart, but not smart enough. Iman's able to punish.
And they think he keep it away. With early contact already made, and they spot the tour de force. GMD still there.
Double push through B.
Deploying drone.
They don't have the info to really make this worthwhile. This is concerning.
Ooh. Nice patience by TSM as well.
Incredible.
Now that they paused the player there, at least you're gonna look to move over. 7's popping off once again. Those 3 kills paying off wonders. And again, we're looking at a 3-round conversion. I don't think Rosa has the commit to putting out the Viper smoke, but
oh my God,
he drops down. They cannot stop it. A thrifty from TSM, a bold move by Proto.
Incredibly bold, but it would have actually worked out if 7 wasn't so clean on his shot. That could have been a spike denial and maybe a little bit less money in TSM's reserve. But now looking at them, they are sitting pretty. 6,100 in the bank for 7 after a full investment. TSM, it certainly wasn't exactly the most favored round for them to win, but hey, kind of take back everything I said about this being a travesty for TSM. No, they're right on the board without much issue whatsoever. John QT is going to be buying up that operator. Should also mention in an immediate push up towards B just to grab that orb. That's going to allow Koala Noob to get the Blade Storm in hand. That being said, TSM, they're actually going to be fighting elsewhere. That jet won't be making contact for a good while as they're walking up towards A. Or will they make contact? A drone through B. That's going to cause a little bit of a disturbance in the Ghost setup. Just a little bit.
I definitely heard it too. So, Koala Noob with him not getting tagged, I mean, the TSM all move away to A.
The counter drone as well from Ghost.
Cover going out.
It's two big pieces of util out, but the Axe keeps coming up. This is what's going to matter most, Ravish.
Smoke is down as well. There we go. There's a Viper's Pit for Sabrosa. Teddy's locked down the plan. The snake bite will go wide, but it should be at least slow them down. Just some chip damage and nothing more is what they'll get. TSM now in a 5v5 retake against Ghost Gaming. At these looks to move in first, but inside the Viper's Pit.
Corey's going to be
find
huge.
out Sabrosa initially. Using some pot shots, but while he forced him to reposition. Not gonna be able to get him as they all look to move into the exact same choke. And it all goes in favor of TSM. They're locked out. They're shut down. And Ghost Gaming can't move in. They'll have to save.
Yeah, the 5v5 getting that Viper's Pit down without any sort of contention whatsoever is already incredibly scary. Obviously, you're not going to justify saving a 5v5 like that, but you really need to find an in. And when you make it a 3v5 almost instantly, not in your favor, that is when you should be kind of letting up those alarm bells that unless something happens immediately, this is probably just going to be a cause for you to save your weapons into this next, which they do. To Ghost's credit here, that's going to be another round going the way of TSM. A pause for Ghost at bat. That being said, John Cutie still has his operator in play, so no matter how Ghosts purchase around this weapon, or these weapons saved, they still have a very good chance to make this at least dangerous for TSM.
It seems as though as right now, no matter what Ghosts do, all they think about is, you know what, I was looking for a decision, couldn't really find it. But point being so far, TSM have actually done a really good job of just bringing these round back one by one, whether it be off of a big play and then going into the next. So they're actually adapting to how far up actually Ghost have been playing. So already, I think Ghost's gonna look to reposition, probably like play more than likely a lot farther back. They don't want to try to play these close angles anymore against TSM because they got punished early on, especially towards B when they were looking to play around yellow or even by green as well. They're right behind the entrance, so they're thinking maybe to catch them, not get somebody yet once again. I don't know if we see the exact same sort of presence.
That's actually interesting because I'd actually argue maybe the opposite, right? Because really? Ghost Gaming conceded a lot of space, and again, they were able to get that 5v5 post point down. Now, obviously, it was made a lot harder by the fact they had a Viper's Pit on Sabrosa, but I'm wondering if this actually might be the call for Ghost Gaming to switch up their default and be aggressive towards maybe A, like they are right now. Go ahead and bring the fight to TSM if you feel confident. You have players like Kuala who are just cracked mechanical beasts. You can get away with crazy stuff like it, and I mean, already, look how much they're suffocating TSM over towards A. This effectively is pushing 7 out of the server, well, entirely for this round. And Ghost Gaming are suddenly up a player.
So the space they actually give away by
they didn't see him.
Charges left.
Was what I was assuming, yeah. You know, she's spotting her proto, locked in the corner, nice flash, but he's probably looking, he might get timing here. It peaks the wrong time, yep. Okay, but he's fine. Paranoid goes wide, but at least he managed to catch his game. Everybody on site. The two being cleared away. Now TSM disengage, but Nismu's gone. He's way too far forward. And with him being punished, the timeout from Ghost.
Sabrosa's going to be huge here. Sabrosa has the round in the palm of his hands right now. They're going to go ahead and apply pressure by getting this spike down. This is where Sabrosa comes through for the long flank. He should be able to find the Silva here for free. Brock is as good as dead. Oh my god, unless they just completely avoid him, whatever. Who cares? TSM are going to be fighting on site and take him down regardless. That was such a strange round from TSM. How they converted that 4v5? I mean, really, they played around the map perfectly. I need to pay attention to how Sabrosa got in his predicament, so to speak, but I think he just straight up walked through tube all the way up through kitchen without any sort of contention whatsoever, and that sort of thing cannot happen.
I wonder if this time, okay, look, now, I want you to hear me out here.
Yeah.
I think Ghost, if they set up all 3 mid again, they bring things back. Or they decided to just Viper's Pit early on and then make the classic play on Icebox where now TSM are locked in a do or don't or trying to push through and they're looking to just push through. Do you want to just early spam in and find a proto? But look how close he is. I think Shocked okay, just Buddy managed to tag him, but they didn't take him down is the key part.
I mean, hey, you believe in Ghost? You're on that Kaplan copium. What is that? A failed dash by Corey. He's not able to get out. That's a freebie, but still far, far from being a secured round from Ghost Gaming. Certainly a lot easier after that. John QD takes down his counterpart Chamber, and Nismo is doing his best rat impression as he holds close.
Moves in, squeak, squeak.
That's bomb.
That's Spike, like you said. And now suddenly they stuck. Rosa has to come up big here. Spotted, gone, flawless from Ghost. Good round.
What a wild setup. Really, this has been incredibly interesting to watch, just to see how both teams navigate their defaults, because they've been a lot of times just trying to walk up to gather space in a number of these situations, right? There has been an early fight for map control. Last round it was A, or sorry, round before last it was A. This time it was a little bit more over towards B, but you've had two instances where people have been able to get into some insane positions. But like Nismo just pushing up and over towards B, or Sub Rosa finding his way in over towards Kitchen. This has been an incredibly strange game to watch as a result.
I think strange is the only way to describe it. Perhaps even bizarre.
Okay, don't pull out the thesaurus, man. That's too much. I'm gonna look up some synonyms right now. You take it away.
Thank you. You know what? Please do. It's almost as though it's like it's a. If anybody's ever read Chuck Palahniuk, it's kind of like one of his books. Like Slaughterhouse 5.
It's outlandish.
It is outlandish.
Unorthodox.
That's
a very orthodox piece.
Unorthodox.
Yeah, it was relatively orthodox.
Well, you know what? We'll see if we make it perhaps reverse orthodox instead. So into the normal instead. Undisputed traded on one more. They get Brock. Rossi just types in Sova div, moving the swing from a proto.
That's huge.
To get Corey. He wasn't ready. Oh, no.
That's their space maker, too. Sure, they have the site behind it. He's done his part, but he would have been so big for the post plant. Oh, man, they just spam him through the wall. Gimon is completely down for the count. And then Rossi has a mispressure. What can you do? What can you do here, Ravage?
Nothing. You simply have to just take it unless 7 comes up big again.
Do you believe?
He's looking for 3. 1 isolated 1v1s. He establishes that the spike is being defused. Now 7 knows he has to move in, but they're just gonna defuse it. There's no chance and there's no opportunity. It is squandered. 7 is left sad.
Sag.
Yeah, Sag indeed.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, everyone always talks about
you could
Sag.
say that was a couple of badge pushes and making them mads right now. So TSM has to think more about.
Always talks about Sagidine, but where's Magidine or Gladidine?
That's what I'm
She has a range of emotions, man. Pause call from TSM. I honestly not sure about their economical situation right now, but I don't hate calling it here. It's a good chance to kind of reset the tempo, allow Ghost Gaming to maybe cool off a little bit. But that being said, these tactical timeouts have been immense from Ghost Gaming. Every time they've been a part of one, they've won the following round, I believe. With the exception of one on Split, where there was that thrifty round from TSM that was absurd. So, I mean, still, it kind of works out in Ghost Gaming's favor a little bit. You know, I know I'm the color commentator here, but what do you diagnose as an issue here, Ravish?
You know, it's okay. I've been known to have a high tier analysis.
I mean,
as
look,
usual,
I've seen you top frag in the silver game, I think, once.
You know, that might have been that one time that happened.
Oh, no, sir, that was a smurf in your game. My bad.
Thank you. Yeah. Pain. So I think, considering what's been happening so far, it's just been good ulti usages from both sides.
Right.
Just like probably even things out. And off of the back of just unlucky swings, I am liking what TSM is doing though. Like already out of the Viper's Pit and even with the Blade Storm too, they are able to create a lot of space and push back Ghost Gaming's just overall defense currently. Because even now, look at where Ghost Gaming is playing. They're super far back, and even actually pulling out the early rendezvous as well from Koala New, but he's not even too far off.
You're saying that they're playing incredibly passive. Meanwhile, Koala Noob is in your spawn. He's checking out the Zillow page for the attacking spawn right now, and there's no one to contest him. TSM are effectively funneled in over towards B right now, Ravish. This is a disaster.
See, I like it's the 1-2 fake. Everybody else decides to play wave for the back, and one person says, "I'm gonna go nuts." Let's just see where everybody is. And that's what Seven decides to do. He plays human drone, but my brother, there's an owl drone on your team that you can use to surmise where their position is. But Sabrosa is left at the back of the box. But he's asking himself, what's in the box? My friend, there's nothing at all. A flawless for Ghost.
The Lonely Island already answered that question of what's in the box. You don't need to answer it again. Boy, TSM, that's a rough one to lose, but where did it exactly go wrong, right? Obviously, you can point to the single kill that Koala Noob got by just, again, walking up, drafting up towards A. This has been such a weird match because of it. Again, these players, the way these two teams kind of vie for control in their defaults has been so starkly contrasted with another, where it feels like they just kind of get a ton of free opportunities. I think TSM need to spread out their wings a little bit more and have a bit more confidence in actually being able to execute later on these rounds, because it's not working out, and maybe it will this time around. Seven gets his first in the round, that is.
Oh no!
Flash play.
No.
From the shadows could have been big there, Ravish. That's depressing.
That could have been so sick, but they just rotated far too early for him to actually be able to capitalize on any event. Seven still has an op though. But even though he can't rendezvous away, he'll just have to take
What
it.
is that peak?
Bro, all the peaks. What do you mean, brother? Ain't no way he takes that. But Corey gets 3. Not a 1v1. Corey doing the Laurel's work right now. But already past Easter, in the middle of reload, he's under open ground. But he still manages to get away alive. There's Rossi.
Oh, he's so patient.
Rossi. But can he get to have the peek out? He takes it. TSM.
Thievery. Honestly, I'm surprised we're not watching 100 Thieves right now, because they stole that one away. Huge from Corey being able to pick up a triple in such a pivotal situation. But from the beginning, it felt like Ghost Gaming had a lot of good stuff going from them, right? The flash play, like you pointed out before, to punish Gimons from the shadows in towards their spawn. But TSM, incredible resilience from them, being able to bounce back. Of course, Corey finding his 3. That was really just because of the space that was created by everyone else, including, kind of like you mentioned, Seven. He was able to really hold down an angle, and of course, while he got wild swung by Koala Noob. Okay, we'll touch on that later. I'll nerd out about the setup later. This next round has already gotten started, and TSM are too strong.
This is no way.
In the world is
Neither
happening?
just run away. He says, maybe if I stand perfectly still, no one will notice me. And then he runs.
Yeah. TSM dropped their T-Rex roster a little while ago.
Spike down B.
Ooh, ouch. Hey, Corey, maybe that's a nice shot. But what is that flank?
Again, see what I mean? They're just walking up.
Last round.
Wait, I just
in the
realized what
half.
you're mentioning. Yeah, that wasn't a burn. No, I was just saying, like, you know, TSM back in the Paleolithic days had a roster of 2 T-Rexes.
You right.
Yeah. Just realized that makes this player sound old. Ugh.
But it's okay, because now they got all these new young guns out here.
Exactly.
Doing their thing. Experienced, and even the ones looking to prove themselves at least.
Yeah, right.
TSM look to make things a 6-6 half, but a lot available in terms of the ult economy for Ghost.
Yeah, final round of the half as well. Now it's the time to go ahead and top off.
You know when you mix the colors? Never mind. Drone goes up, man. The dart, catches only position. Koala Noob so far up. And Corey gets the trade, but that's worthwhile by the end of it. As they look to rotate over onto A, the spike is so far in, and so is Seven. I'm just generally wondering if, like, TSM just dry rushes into sights at a certain point as a proto on top of the snake bite. Well, after all that damage, finally falls. The Viper spit is nice, but not when it's on other people. 3 against 1.
Actually committing to the plants here as well. His location is basically totally honed in on. Going to be incredibly difficult for him to isolate bites. It's doable. There's the first opportunity right there. Flank comes in. Yeah, John Cutie makes him dead. 7-5 in favor of Ghost Gaming. And I mean, Ravish, that's what you're talking about. You think there was bum rushing sites? No, they're like they're just bumming sites, mate. They're just walking up sometimes. Sub Rosa has gone in over towards A a number of times. Right there, it was 7 doing the same thing. This is kind of what I'm talking about when I say these two teams are just kind of contrasting each other in the strangest ways, where it feels like they just kind of have this playstyle mismatch, and it's been a treat to watch, mind you, but it's really apparent on a map like this, where the parts of the map where they care about and where they control is just so different from time to time. And I think Proto finally caught on to that at the very end. Sitting in over towards screens, he was able to catch his 3, but even that first onto 7 would have been more than enough.
Yeah, true. And considering even Quality was there to act as a punish, it wasn't enough, considering they thought that even with the baiting overall the rotation from Ghost over to B, maybe they could have possibly taken the site for free, but it needed to be on 7.
What is the snipe lineup?
To catch.
I think that hits yellow, right?
Considering where it's going so far with this, it should. Now, as a KO aficionado, I want to believe that Corey's so far up
Okay, yeah,
here.
it's yellow.
Yep.
Corey, I mean, look, you don't need to be...
No way.
I'll let you take over. This is insane.
Way. I love this game, you know. This is awesome. When Rusty actually wins that.
I'm having my Joker moment, man.
Oh, this is crazy. But hey, it comes down to 2v2.
Like, how is 7 there? Or not 7, excuse me. How is Koala here? How did he get in kitchen?
One enemy
Wait.
remaining.
So takes around. He just pushes all the way through yellow. He's on the other side.
He's making
You know
himself
what?
some eggs. I don't know.
That's a 50-50. That's what that is, all right? he could have gone to either door number 1 or door number 2, and he chose door number 1.
This is a Scooby-Doo ass game, man. I don't know. Rosa v2. Do you believe in the Rosa 1v2, Ravish? You remember the story? It started with him getting one
I
on the
like
Nismo.
Rosa a lot,
Enemy
but this is
remaining.
so hard to come back from. I'm suddenly believing it or not more. Oh no. Okay.
Oh, he knows.
You definitely saw him. Now he has the ghost. Cutie's so far back though. There's no. He's looking to just like just shoot him, but he's a headhunter. He needs to be out of the shots first.
He can
and
just wait for the spike defuse here.
Yeah.
Fine.
He doesn't know how many he have. He
What are
pushes
you
out.
doing?
Yeah, he's just baiting. He's like, oh, am I gonna peek it? Am I gonna peek it? Ah, I peeked you. Ah, see, I got you. This is
I mean,
8
just...
to 5 ghosts. That's the one thing we can confidently say.
Right. Yeah. At the end of it all, when again, John QT, I think I said Kwalnu before. I'm so sorry. I doubted you, John QT. You're the one in the kitchen making those eggs. Again, I think we're going to be seeing that a lot. Just really strange. It feels hard to call them flanks because it just feels like they're just walking up uncontested, catching some really good timings. It's been the story of this entire Icebox so far, and look, I'm all for seeing the story continue, but at what point does it get a little stale?
Usually when things ended up dragging out, that's when stories decide to take a turn for the worse. But
the
every
plot
single
twist?
time we view the story of TSM and Ghost suddenly taking a turn for the standard, they hear things like this. John QT is tagged, but he still has a Vandal. Now the save right now.
Does he have any smokes? Why is there no smoke mid?
lower
Are they
weapon.
wanting to take fights here?
Yes. That's why they were there the entire time. They were spraying down too for a reason here, Mr. Ito.
I'm just not sure if that's attack against TSM completely annihilating you, especially when Rosa lurks around the corner. Could catch out Brock here. Or excuse me, Gimod. Can't get my players right.
There we go. Zakuti. Whoa, quicker on the swing. Now Rosa.
I understand
A little
now.
bit too late.
It all makes sense. 2v3, Ghost Gaming back in the lead. Now going to be in a conga line formation, heading up over towards Tube. John
30
Cutie,
seconds
he
left.
scouted out the position. Now he's doing a house tour. They like the area, but they're going to see what the neighborhood's like. B site is now open for business. 7 holds the angle. 3 bullets until. That's 1 for each person. You can hit the shots,
Last player standing.
or maybe not.
No.
10
It's gonna be
seconds
tough from the
left.
beginning. And I believe with Rossi being spotted, it'll get even tougher. There we go. John QT playing that peak well.
You know, I know it's anti-eco kills, but that actually is a really big round from John QT. Because think about where that gets him to the Tour de Force. He's only now 1 tick away. They play for Ultimate Orb early on in this round here, try to force the situation over towards B. It's not only a Tour de Force to work with against a fully weaponized TSM. This actually has potential to be a pretty scary.
That's a good spot.
You know, I'm only scared of 2 things, Ida.
What's that?
Ghosts and bananas.
Why bananas?
Because the you know what, they have a ton of potassium, and on the outside it's one thing, but on the inside it's another,
Whoa.
and I can't handle it.
Says a lot about society, man.
I hate surprises, but it's definitely look towards
L.
the B side as the fish comes in. They're green.
Oh, they are super sus of this smoke. No one's actually lurking inside of it. This is kind of what I mean. Again, look at Ghost setup right now. They have one person sitting outside of A. They're expecting a push up from TSM, so fair play to them.
This will find that the biggest part of this is though that the TSM still have 2 people over on the B side. So with them actually looking to move up against Ghost, if they take a 2-for-1, then this pushes effectively null and void. Speaking of being null and void, no command put out. So Rosa on the other side of yellow. Qualinu goes down. Good trade from
Rosa.
Photo. Looking for the second. Rosa can't move out.
He needs help.
And Norky to move in.
Everyone's
Nobody's
backing.
there to show him help him, but Rossi taking our Proto instead. Now Rosa.
Oh my god, he's in kitchen again! How is John Cutie in kitchen again? Now they can just wait!
The kitchen wrist looking like a stir fry, bro.
Unreal!
That's stir fry made. Rossi gone. 2v3. Spike still not down.
20 seconds!
GMD's mid.
remaining.
Out. Gone. Dinked. Bye. Corey left. Oh, he's spotted. Oh no. You know, oh
Spike
no.
planted.
I don't know. Corey could hit a couple of nasty one-taps here. This isn't exactly the best position. Nismo is playing contact. Or excuse me, Brock is playing contact here. Able to dissuade them for a couple of seconds, but now bleeding internally, he has almost no chance of making this one out alive.
I was gonna say they're set up for the trade as well. So
Right, yeah.
even if Nismo goes down there too, it doesn't necessarily matter because you could easily have seen, you know, Brock swing out, and then that would have been the end of Corey with no health on his hand. 10-5 now. Ghost looking to wrap things up 2-0.
Yeah, when you're against a dash like that, it can always be a little bit scary though. Sometimes it can just break your trade setups. Depends on the angle that you're fighting. Another call, or pause called by TSM, excuse me. And once again, I mean, obviously, as good a time as any to call it, but Ghost Gaming are really, like you mentioned, starting to wrap this one up. This is the TSM that has had a pretty solid win rate. I mean, even against their level of competition, they've gone against some relatively decent teams. Again, in their academy team against ZMM Silver, which I'd argue, considering some of the results that they've gone in the past, I'd say is a good team. But I mean, they are certainly meeting their match against Ghost Gaming right now. This double initiator setup has been very, very strong. Double smoke's not so much.
Yeah, it hasn't exactly worked out, but I think at this point in time for the roster, right, it's a lot about the experimental. It's about figuring things out and seeing what kind of comps they're actually comfortable on, right?
Right.
Considering how new they are. So I think whether a win or loss here comes their way, there are definitely a lot of good lessons learned for this new TSM roster.
Oh, for sure.
Especially with them really thinking outside the box with the Omen and Viper setup on Icebox, especially.
Yeah.
Look for a fast push going towards A, you know. Did they just rush in?
I think this is a great time for them to change up the pace. Now's a better time as any when you're kind of on the cusp of victory. That being said, they need to tread carefully. TSM have 4 players at the ready, and there's also a push coming through from our boy, 7. He's now in the attacking spawn. And again, this same story is just constantly being drawn out. TSM, they're holding on for dear life right now, but this is basically the best situation they could have hoped for.
They do have the trademark outside to actually walk for the flank.
Oh, Corey's gonna die here.
Oh, he's just stuck in the absolute most minuscule of corners. Will mean that now Ghost has the opportunity.
They're sweating him out
for the plant, but they haven't cleared out the back of the site. Ross is still there. GMD is still looking at me again. As they're just outside. 40 seconds left. Knife goes in. They still don't catch the information, but Sub Rose is down. That's a big pick. And now they can actually look to move in. Rossi at least gets a decently sized shot. Koala Nu goes
left.
into his face as Rossi gets flustered. I understand. Jet is pretty, but relax.
Tripwire avoided as well. They're expecting 7 to be there. He still gets his 1. Urgent pings on the radar, noting that, hey, 7, he's on the flank.
I was the strongest.
He has the headhunter. That's all he will be able to do. Just get the 1. 11 now for Ghost Gaming. That was really well played from Ghost, right? I mean, obviously they weren't against the most heavily equipped PSM, but they sweated them out. They were really trying to eke out those kills. Corey in particular, he felt the pressure. There's a little bit of spam, which actually just put him in the lethal range of that snake bite, which kind of forced him out of his position. Because, right, with the new snake bite, you actually don't die if you're full health.
Here.
But he wasn't full health, so he effectively had to move, lost his life. And from there, is kind of a...
Here.
It was all going downhill from TSM. That's actually been the story for this game as well. All going downhill. 11-5. Lots of respect to TSM, right? I mean, it takes some guts to go ahead and get up on stage and, you know, kind of put yourself in front of an audience to try to aim to get better. We'll touch on it more later, but it's not over yet. TSM still have a fighting chance, but it's quickly diminishing.
There was just a corner outside of the smoke that actually favored Koala Nu. So the shot goes a little bit to the right by simple millimeters. Do the knives land?
We don't use metric here, man. You have to speak American. Simple inches. Quarter inches. Hairs.
You say pairs?
Hair? Look, man, I know I have a list, but it's not that bad, bro. Come on.
Unless, oh no, GMD. That was
Corey
a tough
has to save
decision.
this one. He might not even be able to save it. It's so
I don't
rough.
think he is. No. Ghost Gaming are looking to make one of the few perfect runs throughout the night's gauntlet here, you know. Not a single map dropped. They're 1 round away as TSM is on a save, basically.
All right, look, I'm going to tell you, what's a more impressive run right now? The most impressive flawless run. Was it Sentinels at Masters 1, where they didn't drop an entire map the entire international tournament? Or was it Ghost Gaming in the Night's Gauntlet April? Personally, my money's on the Ghost Gaming one, because that's where the real teams are.
I'm down for whoever gives me more content. So currently right now, this Ghost Gaming.
Not over yet, man. 12-5. I'm not one to always believe in comebacks, but this can't be a lethal roster. Maybe, yeah, okay. So,
Rossi is down. No, 7 didn't check that. You got to know that John QT in there whipping it in the kitchen, bro. His wrist flicking, like you said. The eggs he making.
Yeah, one
and the
lurking
things he
A.
shaking.
Oh my God.
He's gonna cut them off. They can avoid the Viper's Pit. That's down Brock legs, but instead with him falling, won't necessarily matter. It's 3v3. They enter onto the site, and suddenly they are so dead. Spike is gone.
You know he's French, not British.
It's barely a French accent, all right? If we're being fair.
Yeah.
Fine. They are so dead.
All right, thank
How
you.
was that?
A lot better. Sure, everyone's going to be happy
Ooh.
about that. And speaking of happy, if you're a TSM fan, you got to be grinning at the fact that a Proto just went down. Now,
standing.
crossing into safety, it'll be Nismo all by his lonesome in a 1v3. Not looking likely, but maybe the lifespan, excuse me, of TSM can extend a bit further. Nismo still hiding around the spot,
That's
so
one flash.
has
Man
ult.
is there.
He has
pushes
ult.
the molly. He can just take it. He's delaying the spray on for GMD. They have no time. That'll be it. Ghost Gaming. Clutch out the round. They are your Night's Gauntlet champion.
unreal way to end it. Nismo in a 1v3. He burns time off the clock. He buys it with that Molotov onto the spike as well. And I mean, talk about a deserving victory. Concise, clean on Icebox, and a pretty similar story on Split. They shaped up, fixed up all their issues. They weren't losing to Thrifties. They weren't losing much in general to TSM on map number 2. And they'll take it, like you mentioned, Ravish, in a flawless fashion.
Not dropping a single map, a impressive run nonetheless here for Ghost. And, you know, across the board right now, man, I am genuinely impressed with the level of play we're seeing out of this Ghost roster. But putting all that aside, though, I do think TSM have a lot to be proud of. Like,
Yeah.
although they do fall here,